So we begin the first chapter in the series of the 12 chapters that I have been talking to you about in the earlier chapters. Each of the chapter deal with different subjects, whereas earlier I talked about studies as a whole. In the upcoming chapters, I will be talking specifically about one subject at a time. This will help you understand how the four brain learning approach applies to the learning and teaching of each of the subjects. As I progressed in the process of writing this book, as a writer, I became confused for whom I am writing. If anybody is able to understand all the pages up till now, then for such a person, this book would not be necessary. Anyone who understands what I have talked about up till now would have known what I was talking about. Such a person would not just have been able to put it into a framework like I did. So, midway in the book, I realized that even though I wished that the students who needed to learn the four brain learning approach would be reading my book, most likely they would not even know that this book exists. So I changed my strategy and wrote for the teachers and concerned authorities who could use the ideas in this book to help their own students. This chapter and the upcoming chapters are thus a continuation of the strategy I used in identifying my readers. As you can see in the slide, for those of you who are watching the video book, and below for those of you who are reading the book version, to make peace with my confusion about the audience of this book, I have addressed the various possible readers, namely the students, teachers, the principal, and the parents, as well as the syllabus designers. For 2 decades, I have been on stage giving training, workshop, speeches to groups of 5 up till 300. I was always aware about who was in the audience. I never was able to talk freely because I always was pulled by this connection with the audience. Most speakers have something in their minds and they speak it out irrespective of who is in the audience. In my case, it was never like that. Whatever I was set to say would be affected by the composition of the audience. It could be the demographics, the industry that they are in, the hierarchical levels most of the audience belongs to, the gender, and so on. So when I write books, I feel really free to talk and express the real me, what is inside of me, what I want to talk about, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, the real me. When I'm writing, I do not have this connection that is a direct one with the audience that will affect my output. This freedom is why I enjoy writing so much. In my counseling sessions, I can never just say what I want to say or feel or think. I just directly connect with the client and I just speak everything in his context for him. In the group setting, I connect with the group consciousness. It can be the body language of the people, the facial expression, some side talks, the ambience of the room. But group consciousness for me is something real inside of me, a deep feeling that affects my thinking process and consequently the words that I speak up and what I write on the board. So, what I'm getting at is when I write this book or any book, I'm not burdened by that connection. I'm not saying that I don't love that connection, because if it was so, I would not be a counselor and motivator. However, I also love to have my own quiet time, and the writing is such an opportunity for me. When I write, I have an audience in mind, but it's in the distant future. This person who is reading my book, that is you, is someone who will accommodate himself, connect himself with me in order to understand what I have to say. So it will be something in reverse gear as compared to my training career. In fact, every writer writes expecting the reader to align himself to the book. The only difference with me is that I have an alternate personality or capacity whereby I connect with people and deliver what they want to hear and learn the way that they want it. So, yes, I enjoy my both personalities, that is, of a speaker and a writer. So, let us talk about English and language. Again, if you are reading this far, I don't need to teach you anything about English or any language. However, I'm talking to your students and parents. Also, I am talking to the humbler side of yours who agrees that there are many things you may not be aware. There are many things that you don't know, basically. I hope that through this chapter and the upcoming ones, I'll be able to help you move to the quadrant of I know, I didn't know. Here I'm talking about English and language. So, without mastering any language, no learning can occur. That is why I call it the embryo of learning. We tend to take language for granted whenever we talk about advanced courses in language. We talk about literature, critical thinking, and so on. But in my counseling sessions, I have been exposed to the side of language that frightened me. I have been a very good student. As I told you earlier on, even though I did not know about the four-brain learning approach, I practiced it informally and mastered all my subjects. I was so good that I developed my own syllabus in other subjects later on. After my bachelor's degree, I read extensively and I wrote extensively. I can't be blamed to think that everybody would be like me and would be capable of mastery over language like me. But I was horrified in my counseling sessions again and again when I met students who could not read a sentence in English or in our local language, Nepali, even when they were in grade 11 and 12. Even some who were in a bachelor's degree found it difficult to understand complex sentences. Many of them did not know how to write properly and did not know the function of a full stop, let alone a paragraph. But scarier was that so many students do not know how to listen to a lecture. They just don't understand. They don't have the vocabulary. They do not know the organization of sentences. In this way, they become totally negative about studies because they do not understand the language. This follows that most of the students cannot talk properly in any language, be it English or their local language. It's horrible. Then I realized how lost they must be feeling. And this is what this chapter is about. And for the thousands of students who are like I've described, it is for this objective to help them that I have written this chapter. In my consulting work in the last 20 years, I used to be baffled why my clients and employees were not able to execute my advices. It never occurred to me that they could not even read properly my reports, or that they did not have this comprehension power to fully understand what I was trying to say. I thought that my ideas were half cooked, immature, under researched. I was wrong. Poor language skills is so predominant among students. I do not believe that just because they become older, those language skills would have developed by themselves. The skills that they could not hone when they were full-time students, I do not believe that they would have been able to hone it when they are working professionals. So my presumption is that most of the workforce is filled with people who have poor English or language skills or capacities. This is the reason I believe that not only my ideas or any good idea cannot be executed despite their soundness. People just don't understand. They don't have the mental capacity to understand. So when I look back in my consulting career as well as training career, I have to accept that my assumptions about my audience was incomplete. Just because they were PhDs or master's degree holders or bachelor's degree holders didn't mean that they had the corresponding language skills to appreciate what I had to say. That said, it's not the end. And even though I'm retired from the consulting business and the training business in Nepal is almost zero due to recession, I believe that I will incorporate this new assumption about unexpected lower language skills in most of the adult population when I give talks, trainings, and even consulting work. For students, having inadequate language skills is a curse. It's difficult to understand other subjects, even like physics, chemistry, biology, because to understand the concepts, you need language. Even subjects like accounts rely heavily on language. Math itself is a language that uses operators like plus, minus, into, divided, differential, integration, factorials, and so on. People, especially teachers, think that the students are weak in their subjects or are strong in their subjects. However, it might be true that they are exclusively weak or strong in that particular subject, but most likely they lack language skills that enable them to understand that particular subject. It is a sad state of affairs. The student cannot admit that his language skills is at a much lower level than what he is supposed to be having currently. He is afraid of the repercussions, so he will hide the truth. As we will discuss later on, people are really good at hiding their ignorance. However, all hope is not lost, and this chapter is here to help all of you students, teachers, parents, principals, syllabus makers to make sense of this alarming claim that I've been making, that 90% of students have poor language skills that affects their performance in other subjects. Consequently, they cannot love their studies because they don't understand it.